So we have some stunning news coming out of the war in Iran, as it seems that it's reached a new phase. Ukraine says it has struck long-range routes moving Russian military equipment linked to Iran, while Zelenskyy has also claimed that Moscow gave Tehran satellite data for attacks on US sites in the Middle East.
As diplomatic efforts appear to ramp up between the US and Iran, Tehran is now embroiled in another conflict. In a stunning development, Iran claims Ukraine attacked one of its vessels in the Caspian Sea over the weekend. Now, Ukraine's president says drones targeted several ships which were transporting military cargo from Iran to Russia. That's the story out of Ukraine. Iran says at least one person was killed and 3 injured and is now threatening Ukraine.
When asked about, Donald Trump, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, downplayed it and claimed that he'd just have a wee word with the Russian dictator.
President Zelenskyy says that Russia is giving Iran satellite imagery of U.S. bases in the Gulf to help them target. What can you do about that?
Well, we'll find out if that's true. I'll ask Putin about it. We'll find out. Hasn't had much impact because we've knocked the hell out of it, what do you think? If that's the case, look, they gave Venezuela a lot of equipment. Venezuela had all Russian equipment. How did that work out? Not too good. So they may be giving, but if they are, it hasn't worked out because they have no army, they have no air force, they have no navy, they have no nothing. So it hasn't worked out well. I don't think they've been doing it. Certainly not at a high level. And if they have, it has been very unimpactful.
It's evident that the Iran war is expanding now, with Ukraine becoming one of the new players involved in this crisis. Now, if you recall, Donald Trump has repeatedly insisted that Vladimir Putin is not helping Iran fight the United States. He says that Putin personally assured him of that. And I know what we're all thinking. Vladimir Putin has such an extraordinary reputation for openness, restraint, and strict adherence to international agreements. It's no wonder that Trump considered the matter settled, right?
You mentioned the Iran, you mentioned the Middle East and how it takes attention. Are you worried about Iran potentially attacking you? They've threatened because of what happened with one of their vessels.
And what do you think if Iran, from the first year of the war, gave new technology to Russia? It was Shahid drones. They gave thousands of these drones first year of the war. Then they gave licenses. What did they do? Did they attack us? I think yes. So they already did it.
The war was already underway, effectively. They are attacking you.
We have to be cautious. We have to do everything not to open new front in any way, but we have to be honest.
But according to Ukrainian officials, they have presented Trump with a very different story. Zelenskyy says that Ukrainian intelligence has recorded active Russian satellite surveillance of Gulf countries and American military installations since the beginning of July. They have alleged that Russia is sharing those images with Iran and that the surveillance correlates with Iranian attacks on US bases. Now, US intelligence has not yet been able to corroborate such information, but Ukraine says it will give evidence directly to Washington. This allegation has not been raised in isolation either. Ukraine has now attacked vessels in the Caspian Sea that Kiev have said were moving military cargo between Russia and Iran. Zelenskyy confirmed Ukrainian long-range strikes against a Russian warship and vessels allegedly involved in Iran-linked military shipments. Iran have come out and said that the attacks struck Iranian commercial vessels, killing one sailor and injuring another. Tehran has condemned the operation and warned that it will respond. According to reporting in The Telegraph, they have mentioned that the attack was intended not merely to disrupt military logistics, but to send a direct message to Donald Trump that Russia and Iran's military are very much active and operational.
Are you concerned about depleted stockpiles if there is a broadening conflict in Iran?
We have plenty. We have a lot of ammunition, different types. Biden gave a lot to Ukraine, and so we're building that up, but we have a lot. We have a lot of the mid-level stuff, too. I mean, more than we could ever use, no matter what. But we have a lot. I'd like to have more, to be honest. But so much was given to Ukraine by Biden. When I left, the cupboards were full. When I came here with Obama, he didn't buy ammunition. We had very little. And I got it built. Now, as soon as I left, they gave a lot of it to Ukraine. I mean, numbers that nobody's ever seen before. So we're building it very rapidly. Plants are being built. A lot of equipment's being built. The Patriots in particular are being built. The THAAD system is going up. We have a lot. Every one of our contractors is building 4 to 5 plants right now. And we're in very good shape. But for some of the more sophisticated stuff, we'd certainly like to have more. Biden gave a lot of it away.
Mr. President?
It's been no secret how the Ukrainian government feels about Iran's involvement in helping Russia bombard Ukraine. Zelenskyy is now suggesting that Russia is directly helping Iran target American bases. Now, Trump has claimed he warned Russia and China not to assist Iran, and he said that both leaders had personally assured him that they would not do so. But recent Iranian strikes have already caused American intelligence officials to examine whether Russia may have supplied targeting support or enhanced technology. Reuters recently reported that precise Iranian drone strikes on sensitive American facilities had prompted questions inside the US intelligence community about possible Russian involvement, although analysts had not yet reached a definitive public conclusion. American bases in Jordan, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, and elsewhere have been struck during the Iran conflict, and American service members have been killed with hundreds wounded, to which the Pentagon has faced intense criticism for failing to immediately disclose the full scale of some injuries.
Let's bring in MS Now national security analyst, former White House National Security Communications Advisor, Rear Admiral John Kirby. Admiral, it's good to see you this morning. I want to begin, though, with your reaction, your reflection on the deaths of these service members. And if you think that these losses are going to change any of the calculus for President Trump right now. One of them is just 19 years old. 19. I keep thinking about her and her family.
Yeah, very, very young here. I don't know that it's going to change much in terms of the calculus in terms of President Trump's thinking militarily on this. But it is a huge loss and a sacrifice. And I think it's important that we remember that there's a couple of families out there, actually 3 now, that just got the worst possible news you can get. And they're grieving and they're suffering. And I hope that Mr. Trump and his administration and the Pentagon are wrapping their arms around those families, because they're going to need a lot of support going forward.
Well, speaking of the sort of messaging that we're getting from the White House, from the Pentagon on this, the New York Times has been reporting that the Pentagon failed to disclose dozens of injuries sustained by service members throughout the course of this war. And Central Command is not required to release information, but, you know, the American public has been angry about this war. People want transparency. They, of course, want it to come to an end. And while there may be an argument to be made here that you don't want your enemy to know the sort of full extent of the damage that they've done at these different bases in the region, does the American public deserve to know more about what has happened to our service members and what we've essentially done to ourselves in the course of this war with Iran?
Unequivocally, yes, Antonia. The American people deserve to know a lot more about how this war got started and how it's been prosecuted. And the administration has not done, in my view, a sufficient job of communicating exactly what we're trying to achieve and how we're going to achieve it and how we're going to know when we have achieved it.
And according to recent reporting from the Wall Street Journal, behind those gold-coated White House doors, Trump has been going absolutely ballistic, cursing to the point that insiders have suggested he's in, quote, revenge mode.
What do you say to families of these fallen soldiers when Americans are wrongly against this war? How do you ask them?
Well, Americans aren't against the war. A poll just came out. Americans don't want high gasoline prices, but they're not against the war. That just came out loud and clear in a poll. Nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Do you want Iran to have a nuclear weapon? You think it's good? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a far cry from the steady hand that his propagandists keep telling us about.
Unpopular and unauthorized war abroad is a higher priority to this administration than their ability to feed their families and provide health care to their loved ones who are sick.
Well, Senator, you're talking about political trade-offs, and our job is to deliver for the United States military and the President of the United States. And we look at the cost of a nuclear Iran, and we want to prevent that for future generations. And that requires funding and supplementals and this budget and next generation capabilities. And that's why we're here today to request some of that to ensure we can ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon.
So you're essentially saying you're asking for literally $1.5 trillion for a war that President Trump said he already won. You're asking for $1.5 trillion, unlimited money for bombs, but insufficient money for the American people, for their health care, their food, their housing, and our farmers, Secretary Rollins, who we have cut SNAP program. We are not funding the losses from emergencies that have happened in blue states, particularly when we had frost.
That's not true.
False. You're not funding it. But back to you, Secretary Hegseth.
And I would like to respond to the fertilizer and the gas.
Have your chance, Secretary Hegseth.
There's no reason to be rude.
You are asking for unlimited money for bombs when people can't feed their families. And I don't know how this administration intends to defend those decisions to the American people.
And it's no secret to anyone, right, that Iran and Russia's military logistics across the Caspian Sea have long been an important part of their defense relationship. Kiev's decision, however, to strike there shows that Ukraine now sees the Iran conflict as part of its own battlefield. Iran's response, they have summoned Ukraine's diplomatic representative and warned that this attack, quote, cannot go unanswered. So all of this means that Donald Trump faces a geopolitical knot. You have Russia at war with Ukraine. Iran has supported Russia's war. You have the United States fighting Iran and Ukraine now attacking Iran-linked shipping, all while Iran is threatening Ukraine and now Russia being accused of helping Iran target American bases. And on top of that, the American people are demanding an end to this seemingly never-ending conflict.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.